What's up, everybody? It's me, your Simpai, bringing you another deep dive into realms previously unexplored. The mortal mind can only handle so much, and sometimes when peering into the deep, dark abyss, you wonder if you're truly going insane, like you stumbled upon something you weren't supposed to. Like, are clothes trying to fucking kill me? But in all seriousness, today I want to discuss the Kill La Kill Iceberg. This entire video is pretty much the brainchild of the creator of this iceberg. Cunningunz. I'm sorry that I really don't know how to pronounce your name. It's not that hard, I just don't know how to pronounce it. This entire thing is pretty much his brainchild. Not only do I want to thank him for that, I want to thank him for creating the iceberg, sending it to me, and also just the fact that he has done more to market my YouTube page than I bothered to. So really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I hope I can make this video up to your standards. Alright, so without further ado, let's do an iceberg. Fuck it. Let's talk about this. Well, for starters, we have the scissor blades are different. Now, I'm not sure if this is referring to the color of them being different or the shape of the blades being different. It seems that whenever Nui has these scissors, they take on a purple color, except for when she's got both of them. I don't know why it didn't. But when Ryoko gets them back, they both change to be red again, so I don't know if it's something to do with its anti-life fiber capabilities. I don't know. I don't think they thought that far ahead, to be honest. Kill La Kill is underrated. I'd say both yes and no. I'd say it is appreciated by the people who know what it's about, and the people who don't know anything about the series tend to write it off as nothing but this weird fan service show, when it's about a lot more than just that. I might do a more in-depth analysis of the series one of these days, but I'd say in the broad consensus of like anime, it's underrated, but that's not much of a theory, is it? Life fibers are alien parasites. This is pretty much proven within the context of the show, if not outright flat out said. But this is the sky high of the iceberg. We haven't even touched the iceberg, so Mako's outfit is a reference to Jotaro's uniform. Yes and no. I believe that, well, it could be a reference to Jotaro's uniform. It's got some of the you know what? Let me pull up a picture of it. In my opinion, it's got more of the same basic like influence from like the Japanese like delinquent look than directly from Jotaro. But let's be honest, like Jotaro is so iconic at this point that especially within Japan, Jotaro's look is super iconic. So it's to say it wasn't like semi-referenced is an understatement. But it's missing a lot of the details that I would say would make it a dead giveaway reference to Jotaro. The chain, the hat motifs, the belt, I'd say are all like dead giveaways that would, in my opinion, make it a stronger case for it to being a Jotaro reference other than just the like the Yankee delinquent reference. But I mean, it is what it is. It's more than likely a reference, just not that strong of one. Ugh, fine. I guess this meme's my little PogChamp. Actually, I would put this way down at the bottom tier. There's some weird esoteric lore about the PogChamp meme, because it came literally out of nowhere, and I think they are prepping the waters to see people's interest in a possible season 2. Yeah, enough of that one. Earth being destroyed by covers If you spend enough time on conspiracy theory websites like I do, you would know that this is actively going on. And if you are not prepared for the inevitable closed takeover, then you are part of the cover-up. I don't apologize for that terrible pun. Moving on, we have censored scenes on Toonami. I never watched this series on Toonami. I was already watching it through less than legal means. But I watched this series when it was airing, so I do find it vastly humorous that there is active censorship on a show with themes and motifs like Kill La Kills. It's kind of funny. I know that they removed some like jiggle and stuff like that, so whatever. Fuck censorship in all of its various forms. I'll leave it at that. Glowing body parts on nudist beach members. Okay, so you may be forgiven if you think that the glowing body parts are another active form of censorship. But that is where you'd be wrong. It's actually extremely condensed anti-Goku technology, and using his body can also destroy Goku suits on contact. No, that's not something I just made up right now. References to other anime. There are a shit ton of different references scattered within Kill La Kill. I'm sure somebody has made a list of them. I know a lot of them are just references to other projects that the staff have worked on before, namely like Gainax projects, like Fooly Cooly or like Gurren Lagann. And there's also some like more like niche references hidden about. My personal favorite is whenever like the text appears, and it just randomly appears, but the big bold red text, I'm pretty sure is a reference to Akira. Not that that's obscure or anything, but yeah, there's that. Nanan's Goku uniform logic. I don't know about you guys, but whenever she's on screen, I just completely just zone out. She is by far and away my favorite character in this entire show. I'm actually upset that there is only one theory about her. I would have filled this thing up with theories about Nanan. I'd make them up if I had to. But yeah, it's kind of obvious I have weird tastes in characters, and it's not often that I like the main character of any series, other than like a few exceptions. But Nanan just holds a very special place in my heart. I've always liked her. Like, I liked her when I originally watched the show, and I like her now. But talking about her Goku uniform, it's fucking bonkers. I don't really even know how to describe like any logic behind it. I suppose that the only logic I could really prescribe to it is that it's so powerful in its own sense, at least its first form, since it's the amalgamation of a whole bunch of different instruments, and that's why it's so large. Not really that any other Goku uniform really has any logic behind it, like extremely like solid logic to it. Like Gamagori's is a BDSM outfit, so I don't know if hers is supposed to be some like fetish outfit as well. I really don't know. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I have a fetish I don't even understand. Let me get back to that. Mako is attracted to Ryoko. I wouldn't even consider this one a theory, because I mean, fucking look at her. Wouldn't you be? but in all seriousness, I think she's too dense to actually like have that type of feeling for anybody. It's a bit like Goku like having an actual relationship. Like it could exist, but do you really want that? Ragu, whatever, molested her daughters. The rainbow troll doll molested her daughters. This one's false, 100%. She molested one daughter. Like the bath scene, I kind of thought was just like awakening of chakras or whatever. They showed the like Kabbalic like tree on Satsuki, so like I was like, oh, it's got something else to do. But like after she's like slapping her ass when she's in jail, I was like, yeah, you're into some weird shit. She like mind molested Ryoko, but I always thought that was more of a not like an actual like process going on. It looked too dreamlike to be for me to consider it like actually like an occurrence. I don't know. I'm no expert in anime molestation, sadly. Moving a bit further down, we have Jangetsu Could Talk. Now, I believe that it's like entirely possible. It's just we don't have any like conclusive proof of this. First off, we don't have like the perfect compatibility thing going on. They weren't like made for each other. They were Jangetsu was made before Ryoko was born, I believe. I'm kind of fuzzy on that one. But I think essentially, yeah, you could probably talk. This one's going to be a bit strange. Talking about Regio's motivation for siding with the primordial life fiber and creating Revox. It's not really like explained too well in at least the anime. I've never read the manga at all. If I want to go out on a limb, I'd say they didn't think that far ahead. As far as I can tell, the entirety of the writing for Kill La Kill was just done by the seat of their pants. I think that's how they keep it like very fast-paced and loose, which is for the benefit of the series, all in all. But her motivation, she seems to be just a Fist of the North Star reference. Like, I'm not sure if she's really like all too well thought out. I'd say that she witnessed the awakening of the primordial life fiber, and that just like stilted something in her brain, kind of made her go a bit crazy. It's like looking at like a Lovecraftian horror, which is pretty much what the life fibers are, and you're just gonna go mad at it. So I think all of that. Maybe they got to her really quick after the primordial life fiber awoke and brain controlled her. I don't know. I'm not a writer of this show. But if anyone actually knows, or like if they actually state her motives, I'd actually like to know. Ryoko isn't actually Ragyo's daughter. This is actually a pretty decent possibility, since Ragyo kind of makes gigantic leaps in logic and judgment. And, I mean, we haven't seen the family on Murray at all, so it's kind of hard to definitively prove or not. This theory actually has a lot of solid grounds to stand on, because we, as a viewer, only get this information from one of the most manipulative and conniving characters in the entire series, who could just be making all this crap up to try to get at Ryuko. So it's really hard to tell. But if you ask me, while it's definitely not something they ever planned from the beginning, I think that the creators are pretty content in leaving it at that. I don't know if they ever actually do a season 2. I doubt they'd even bring that up. Oh well. Nue didn't kill Ryoko's father. Now, this one also has similar connotations as the previous theory. Like, we're taking the word of just a manic pixie dream girl, essentially. Anything that Nue says, can that really be extrapolated as being truthful? If you watch the series, people will say that there's continuity errors in not only the scissor blades, but the scenes in themselves. And yeah, like, I would agree with that, and that's clearly the case. They wrote these episodes by the seat of their pants, and quite frankly, I don't think they cared about continuity at all. But I'd posit a different question to this. If Nue didn't, who did? It wasn't Satsuki, and it wasn't Regio, so that doesn't leave a lot of characters remaining. The primordial life fiber is a multi-dimensional entity, as mentioned in Kill La Kill If. Now, I never played Kill La Kill If. I was never big enough into the series to play like the video games like that. I heard it is really good, like arena fighter. I might have to check it out someday. But it being a being from a different dimension makes more sense than stating that it was like an alien parasite, because that implies it's from our dimension and our reality, our understanding, and the life fibers in and of themselves don't make any actual sense within the confines of our understanding of like how life and stuff evolves, unless they were like crafted by some like other alien race for some nefarious purpose, or even some good purpose, kind of like the Metroids and the Chozo. Actually, that'd be pretty decent like plot for a season 2 if they ever wanted to do that. I'm getting off track. It being from a different dimension other than like within the confines of our universe kind of reminds me less of like symbiotes from like Spider-Man and more of like kind of like the demon armor from Spawn, if anybody knows what I'm talking about. Which would also be an interesting concept for season 2 if they wanted to go balls to the wall crazy and go to hell or something. I don't know, I'm spitballing stupid ideas right now. Let's keep going. Moving on, we have Nui took over Mako's body. Now this is a pretty interesting theory. I actually remember this one. I think it cropped up around like maybe a year after the show ended because people are just desperate for whatever. Now, I personally really like the theory. I think it's a lot of fun. I think they could do a lot of interesting things with the series if it was, true. But I don't really think that this theory is actually accurate just because of Nui's eye. She always has to hide it because she can't replace it. I don't know. Let me give like the Spark Notes version of this theory though, and although like half of it's just pure happenstance, I wouldn't really put it past anybody at Trigger to set up this whole plot line for literally no reason. There's I think at the end, or maybe it was in the OVA, I don't quite remember. She has Mako, that is, has a very similar color scheme to Nui's outfit. And her like backpack looks similar to Nui's eye patch, which that's clearly intentional, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. And then the second point is kind of the date at the end, where Mako asks Ryoko out on a date, and it seems completely out of left field unless you go into it thinking like a friend date type scenario, which shippers really don't like that idea. There's people online who have dug way too deep into this one, and it's actually pretty plausible, other than Nue's unreleased Kill La Kill special episodes. Now, I'm relatively unsure if this is an actual theory or not, but I distinctly recall, and this could just be the years fucking with me, but I could have sworn that one of the Blu-rays claimed that it had an unreleased episode on it. Maybe that was something just to get people to buy it. I don't know if it was like an episode or something like that, but it's a very similar concept. Maybe that's the OVA. I don't know if they're two separate things. I could Google search it, but I think that defeats the purpose of trying to tackle an iceberg. Moving on, Kill La Kill if top leaderboard matches were rigged. Now, I never played Kill La Kill if, I've already stated this, but everybody knows about the great rigging fiasco of Kill La Kill if. After former famed high-score Donkey Kong player Billy Mitchell was ousted as a cheater from the gaming community, he was desperate to get back into the game. What was hot at the time? Kill La Kill if. But the problem is, nudity scares Billy Mitchell. That's why he was so afraid of having his title stripped. Fun meta fact at the time, everybody was playing as members of Nudist Beach at the time, which absolutely drove Billy Mitchell wild. So he used what was left of his funds from his documentary to rig the Kill La Kill if leaderboards. They say to this day, if you look, B. Mitchell Daddy 69 is still one of the top players. Satsuki actually still hates tea. This one is totally in line with her character. She is so, what's a nice way to say this? Stubborn. That she would never admit to something just as petty as that. Especially given how many years she's been drinking that fucking tea. So, this one, 100% accurate. Most students at Honoji Academy are life fiber created fakes. Damn, I want this one to be real. I really, really do. I'd personally chalk all the background characters looking similar to just be a method of saving time on animation. But let's examine this one a little bit closer. Whenever you see background characters, 9 times out of 10, if they have a unique or interesting looking design in comparison to like the normal like student at the academy, they're no-star students. Whereas most of the 1-star students all look exactly the same. So I would propose that instead of the students themselves being faked, that the 1-star Goku uniform, for some reason, has like transformative properties that make everybody look like just lemmings. The obvious exception being the outfits that they made for the whole Kyoto trip arc due to the Elite Four not being affected. Does the theory hold up to any sort of criticism? No, not at all. But it's kind of fun. World leaders and governments knowing about life fibers. Now this one kind of bleeds into a few other ones that are further down on the list. That being the life fibers and the primordial life fiber being real, and as well as the bottom rung stating that Trigger's trying to warn us about life fibers. So pretty much any country that makes cheap-ass clothing is trying to kill you, as well as all the major retailers. Personally, I think it would be a lot more fun to claim that the governments and world leaders know nothing about it, and just like one particular clothing chain or something like Abercrombie and Finch or something. Like they're trying to kill everybody slowly. Alrighty, we are almost at the depths of this bad boy. First off, we have the primordial life fiber is an SCP-001 scenario. Now, I don't know much. Actually, I know nothing really about the SCP. So I did a quick little Google search, and while there's a whole bunch of different SCP-001s, I've come to the conclusion that I don't really know enough about the intricate lore of the SCP to be able to make a definitive comment. I know it's a bit of a cop-out, but I can't really figure it out. Life fibers and the primordial life fiber are real. I actually stopped wearing clothing entirely because of this one. I mean, you can go around still wearing your clothes or whatever, but don't blame me when they take over. Kill La Kill's excessive fan service is a secret project to make people less attracted to real women, and thus lower the birth rates. This one's actually kind of funny because about the last 2 videos I've done on my channel have had some way, shape, or form involved this type of theory. And I mean, I guess you could say I'm an expert on it by now. Those of you who don't know, or maybe just didn't watch my Darling in the Franxx Iceberg and or my Anime for Beginners video, I pretty much elaborate on this a little bit more, but essentially what I proposed in my Anime for Beginners video is that the CIA created anime in order to somehow take over Japan. I talked to Alex Jones about it, and it's a fucking wild time. But there's a theory that Darling in the Franxx was made to pretty much trick people into having sex. Like, and this is kind of the opposite. So I'm gonna weave, pun intended, a bit of lore here that Studio Trigger was once an asset of the CIA created in order to diminish Japan's birth rate and create femboys. But they had some sort of falling out at one point. Perhaps they felt guilty for making Kill La Kill too sexy, and then they went on to make Darling in the Franxx in order to try to save Japan's diminishing birth rates. The second season script. It's out there. Trust me, it's out there. It's gotta be done. They're done by now. Yeah, sure, they tied everything neatly up with a bow at the end. But you're forgetting the most powerful force on Earth, and that's merchandise. And if there's enough people buying Kill La Kill merchandise, they will release Season 2. So go out there, right now, and buy as much Kill La Kill shit as you possibly can. Hell, I just bought a Ragyo blow-up doll the other day, so you guys can start simping for this series. It deserves it. Here we are in the deep, dark depths of the iceberg. Trigger is trying to warn us about the life fibers and cover. Yeah, I totally believe this one. Everybody knows that clothing is the original sin. Unless it's got the Kill La Kill logo on it, then that is completely fine for purchase and usage. Hell, it is actually the only clothing on Earth that does not have life fibers in it. So throw away your expensive Hugo Boss 3-piece suit like I did. Pick yourself up some nice Ryuko merch, and let's make this next theory happen. Season 2 is already animated. They're just waiting for it. The PogChamp meme became a thing in order to test the water to see if people wanted a second season of Kill La Kill. And if anything, I think that meme helped make more people aware of the series, not necessarily giving it a good positive connotation, but I think more people watched it. And unlike some other Trigger properties, Darling in the Franxx, there's a lot of room for season 2, like possibility. Everything's like nicely tied up, but it's not ended. Never say never. I strongly recommend just trying to keep the fan base alive and invigorated. And if this video helps in any way, you know, that would make me a bit happy. Just having people still talking about the show is ultimately what this is all about. Every copy of Kill La Kill If is personalized. This one is pretty much also confirmed. You know, I felt like I was missing out not ever playing Kill La Kill If, so I bought it on Steam, and me personally, my copy of Kill La Kill If prevents me from starting the game. Every time I boot up that bad boy, I hear Nanan's voice telling me that I do not need real women in my life, and I only need her. And, you know, it creeps the shit out of me. The developers really need to, get rid of that bug or some shit. And there you have it, the entirety of the Kill La Kill Iceberg. But much like the central theme to this show, just covering it up won't do it any justice. So, I hope that Cunningunz doesn't mind, but I added a bit of theories of my own, just to help keep discussion alive. So, without further ado, the new and improved, hopefully, Kill La Kill Iceberg. As you can see, it's vastly... Oh. Wait. Oh, wrong iceberg. Let me get the real one. I'm not gonna really discuss any of these, because I want you guys to, but here's what I came up with. Ryoko won't lose her way. Gamagori's size, Senketsu faked his death, Kill La Kill is a retelling of Devil May Cry 3, Guts' hoodie is actually camel-y, Kill La Kill is a prequel to Pokemon, Kill La Kill takes place in an alternate universe where Germany won World War II. Every episode syncs up with its title music. Nudist Beach Pool Party, do not search. And finally, there is no fan service in Kill La Kill. Honestly, this iceberg was a lot of fun to do, and I'm really looking forward to possibly doing another one sometime soon. Not immediately like this one, but sometime in the near future.